Hello everyone, this is Barb Reed, the Wexford Stamper, and I'm so excited to be stamping with you today. Today's project will come out of the Occasions Catalog, and I don't know about you, but it has been very, very warm here in Pennsylvania this February, and I've gotten myself a bad case of spring fever. So what stamp set is better to use than the adorable basket builder set? And it comes with framelits so that you'll be able to cut out all these cute little spring images. It also has some real cute sentiments as well. This set has so many possibilities. I just can't wait to dig in. And just a reminder that celebration is still going on. And if you spend $50 in Stampin' Up products, you get one free item out of the celebration catalog. So don't forget about that happening. All right, let's dig in. The stamp set that goes with this bundle is called Basket Bunch, and it's a photopolymer stamp, and it has so many adorable spring images that we can make and build into an adorable little basket. But when I think of spring, the first thing I think of is daffodils. So I'm going to use the daffodil image on my first card, and let me show you what that looked like. This is my first card. I used the daffodil images, and then I used a technique called masking in the back on the background, and I'll show you how I did that. Really quick and easy, and it really makes the card a big wow. I used the note cards available in the Stampin' Up catalog. They're a little smaller than the regular cards, but they work perfectly, and they have envelopes that come with them. Well, the first thing I did was stamp using my archival black ink on a piece of Whisper White all the images I was going to need for my card. Then I came back with my crushed curry and old olive ink and squeezed the ink pads to get a little bit of ink on the lids. Then using my aqua painter, I colored in my flower using the crushed curry. The aqua painters make it so easy to color in the images. You just need a little bit of water, and it does a great job moving the color around and making a nice vivid image. After I finished using the crushed curry on the flower, I then have to get all that color off my pen, and the way I do that is I just brush it on my work surface and then go back into my old olive and do it again. Makes it very, very easy, and I want to make sure that I don't use too much water because I don't want my Whisper White paper to get too soggy. And there I'll finish up my stem, and that's all I have. That are the only images I'm going to be using on my first card. So I'm going to put my inks away, and by the time I do that, my images will be dry. So now it's time to cut out my images, and there will be no fussy cutting done with these. I have the corresponding framelits to cut them. So I'm going to be using my Big Shot with a magnetic platform to cut out these pieces. And the magnet keeps all the framelits right in place and makes it a breeze to cut out these small pieces. So I'm going to put those aside for now, and we're going to get started on the background. Like I said before, I will be using the Stampin' Up note cards from the catalog. These note cards come in Whisper White and very vanilla, and they have envelopes that come with them, 20 in a pack. It's a great deal, and it's great to have them on hand when you have to make a card in a hurry. My card front is going to be a 1/4 inch shorter and thinner than that card front, just to have that nice border around the edge. Then I'm going to cut a Post-it note the same size as my card front. Then I'm going to take a square framelit and cut that out of the center of my Post-it note. Then I'm going to secure my Post-it note to the front of my card. And then it's time to do some masking. To do the masking, I'm going to need my inks and some sponge daubers. First ink we're going to use is Wild Wasabi. And then I'm going to use a sponge dauber. And with that sponge dauber, I'm going to pick up a little ink with my fingertip, and then starting on the edge, off onto the Post-it note, I'm going to push onto the white part of the card and tap around and distribute the color using the sponge. I want to always start off on the edge of the paper on the Post-it note just so I don't get a big, bright ink color right on the card that I might not be able to blend in as well. After I finish with the wild wasabi, I'm going to get another dauber, and this time I'm going to use Pool Party for the sky. Again, I'm going to start with the Pool Party ink on the dauber on the edge of the paper and then move in towards the center, gently rubbing and daubing around on the white area. Once the blue is covering the most of the paper on the top, I'm going to remove my Post-it note, and look what you have. A wonderful background for your daffodils. So next, what I'm going to do is assemble my flower. I'm going to do that using Tombow glue. Tombow is a great glue to use when you're trying to put together little pieces. Sometimes your snail has a hard time going down on teeny tiny pieces, so I find that the glue works much better. So first thing I do is secure my stem to my flower top. Then I come back with my Tombow on the back side at the base of my leaves, and then I secure those to the bottom of the stem. And once that's in place, they're really not going to be able to move those. And once they are sticking and ready to go, I'm going to turn the entire flower over, and using Tombow, I'm going to put a little bit on the flower and on the base, and I'm going to adhere that right to my card front. Too cute. I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and get our sentiment. I chose a sentiment from an old paper pumpkin kit that I had, and I stamped it in my archival black ink. You might want to use a different sentiment, but I just thought this one was perfect for a spring card. Hello, sunshine. And that's it. That's the whole card. Now we're going to bring my base back in, and we're going to adhere the card front to the base. And of course, we're going to be using some of the dimensionals. These are one of my favorite adhesives to use when making cards. It always helps your card front pop and gives your card some wonderful dimension. So I'm going to put those on. I'm going to take off the backs, and then I'm going to secure the card front right to the center of the card base. And that's it. It's a really easy card, and it really, really has a wonderful look with the masking technique. Now, of course, I couldn't stop at just one. So I wanted to show you some of the other cards that I came up with while I was playing around with this set. Okay, let's see. I used the masking, and instead of using the daffodil, I added a few more flowers and kind of made it a bouquet with a ribbon. So that's another way you can use your cutouts and still use that masking technique as well. And then on this card, I had the little chicks and the egg, and I made it more of a Christmassy, Easter kind of card. And here I used the peeps, and I put a piece of colored cardstock between the card front and the card base to help that card front stand out a little more. And here's one that I really didn't use the masking technique. I just used those adorable peeps and kind of stacked them up on front. And here is another one that I used the masking technique and used those little chocolate bunnies. How cute is that? And I love that sentiment. Some other cards that I made using it. This is more of an Easter card. This one I cut out the basket as well and really filled it up with the flowers. And then I cut out the grass. That's also one of the framelits. And I took the flower stamps and stamped tone on tone in the background to give that a little bit of interest. And then on this one, I stamped the flowers on colored cardstock as well as the ribbon, and it gives it a different look for the flowers in this one. So you can either color your flowers, or you can stamp them on the colored cardstock you prefer. Either way, you're going to love the result. And I'm quite a vendor person, and I enjoy making things for the vendor shows. And this is a little thing that I came up with using the bundle. I made a little container to hold my jelly beans and my chocolate bunny, and then I put a little bunny on the front to decorate it with a couple of banners as well. I thought that came out adorable. And then I found these little chocolate carrots in the Target aisle where they have all their Easter candy, and I said, I've got to come up with something for this. So I came up with a little wooden box to put them in. They stand up 4 in a row, and then I put the bunny on front of that one as well. And that will be such a great gift to give to someone at Easter. So these are some of my ideas to use with the basket bunch bundle. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope to see you again real soon.